Before I begin, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to the entire CTSI family for giving me this most humbling experience to share my story with the UF community. As a lab animal veterinarian, I provide care for animals used in research and support scientists with their animal models. I feel extremely honored with the privilege of serving researchers, scientists, students, and most importantly to me, the animals who dedicate their lives to advancing science. As a Black veterinarian, I represent less than 2% of all veterinarians in this entire country. A small number of that 2% go on to pursue additional training or residencies and specialization in a specific field of veterinary medicine that they are passionate about. Prior to working in biomedical research, I actually worked in clinical practice with people's pets, mostly dogs and cats. The overwhelming majority of my clients were white, but when I had the occasional client who looked like me, it was such a joy to be able to share in that moment the experience of helping care for their pet. And they expressed their sincere gratitude as well, and often their surprise. A number of times I would receive comments such as, "Hey doc, you know you're the first Black animal doctor that I've ever met. I didn't even know our people could do that." We'd chuckle about it. We'd go into a full-blown discussion about how even Black people can become veterinarians. Most of the times I would have a white veterinary nurse in the room with me, and they would kind of slink to the back corner or exit the room. As I transitioned back into the biomedical research world, my clients became the scientists, the grad students, the lab staff, anybody working with animal models. Over the past 5 years, I've been blessed to be able to spend time at multiple institutions, but unfortunately, I can count on one hand the number of Black researchers using animal models who I have had the privilege of serving. Unfortunately, the current number of Black researchers here at UF who use animal models is also very, very slim. This has been disappointing for me, as I absolutely believe representation in research matters. A diverse environment brings forth diverse ideas, diverse strategies, diverse solutions. Some of the animals that I actually provide care for are on studies exploring diseases that directly affect Black and underrepresented communities, such as Alzheimer's disease, breast cancer, and heart disease. However, there are still so many unanswered questions. For example, there are areas of science and diseases that are specifically important to the Black community, and we need researchers to explore those areas. For example, we know the system in this country has led to health disparities between the white majority group and the underrepresented groups. This is a huge public health concern in this country. We're all aware of that, especially over the last year with COVID. But there are currently no animal models of health disparities here at the University of Florida. By supporting the goals and passions of researchers from only a certain background, we limit ourselves to only explore certain areas of science. When we open up opportunities for diversity, equity, and inclusion, we springboard ourselves into a new direction. We're able to explore novel areas of science. As UF is on the road to becoming a premier public research institution, we have an amazing opportunity ahead of us. We can recruit, we can hire, and we can support researchers from Black and underrepresented communities and we can support their specific interests in science. Just imagine the possibilities we could explore. As a Black female veterinarian working in the biomedical research field, I have experienced lows. I've experienced countless microaggressions. I have been questioned about my veterinary education at a historically Black university. My ideas have been overlooked and then appropriated. And the amount of pushback that I've received about the way that I choose to practice medicine is insane. I have felt the glass ceiling effect, imposter syndrome, and experienced latent racism. I have seen this system, this made-up system in this country, crush the dreams of young Black students and professionals. I have been the only Black person, the only Black veterinarian, or the only Black professional in a room full of people. I have been forced to master the art of code switching or intentionally changing the way that I speak or the way that I present myself, depending on who's in the room. I do it without even thinking about it now. When I feel strong emotions that I would like to share with a colleague, I feel like I have to dance around my words and pause, take that oh so important pause to give myself a moment to gather myself and figure out how am I going to present myself to this person so they don't think I'm the angry Black woman. I have seen white fragility firsthand. And if we're being completely honest, it has caused me to roll my eyes and question why I spend my time and my talents at a predominantly white institution. My husband, who's also a Black veterinarian here at UF, he and I have spent much time wondering, daydreaming, discussing what it would be like to return to a historically Black college or university and share our expertise, our different areas of expertise with our own community, with people that would appreciate us instead of making us feel minuscule. I have felt the overwhelming pressure, the taxing and draining efforts of working towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because I am one of the few underrepresented individuals to do so. And because the white majority group either believes or they assume that I should be doing that work. However, despite all that negativity, despite all of that madness, I would love to share the sweetest part of my story with you. By the grace of my Lord, because I am a God-fearing woman, I have experienced joy in this field. I love my field. I love what I do. I'm so blessed to be in this arena. You know, we speak a lot about the struggles and the hardships of being a Black person in this country. And it's important. We must speak about those things. We have to bring awareness to it. But it's even more important to focus on the delight, the joy, and the sweet parts of being Black in this country. As I have grown and become more confident in my career and in myself and in my Blackness, I have embraced my identity and am allowing vulnerability in my life. I have welcomed being courageous, speaking up for myself, sharing my ideas, and I enjoy seeing the results of those situations. I have dissolved my own imaginary boundaries and come out even stronger on the other side. I have amazing mentors, extraordinary people that support me and guide me and have exceeded my expectations. and what they have given me. I have chosen to share as much as I want or as much as I do not want with my colleagues about my Blackness. I have made true friendships with colleagues from all backgrounds and enjoy learning from and about their cultures. I have labored, but I have harvested the fruits of working towards diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. I have shared in the joys of students as they pass their licensing exam. I have celebrated with interns and residents as they matched for their very first job. And through their doubts, I have helped them to stay encouraged, even when this system in this country knocks them down another step again. I have intentionally decided to wear my hair the way that I want to wear it, the way that it naturally comes out of my head, the way the Lord gave it to me, regardless of what anybody else believes. I have celebrated and shared in the accomplishments of Black colleagues, and I am learning to embrace all the many struggles that come from being a working mama in this field. And I'm holding tight to the loving help from my family members. I could not do this without my family. I am so proud and thankful to my parents and my extended family who raised me in a manner that allows me to love and cherish my culture. My race has absolutely shaped my career, and it always will. Black in the ivory is a very real thing. And that phrase simply refers to the daily, constant struggles of being a Black person in this very white world of academia. But even in the midst of the struggles and the disparities, we can still choose joy. An acquaintance told me recently, she encouraged me not to get too distracted by the things that we see, by the things that are happening right in front of us in this world, because we have a joy that others cannot take. And we can share that joy and make a difference for someone else. My goal is to provide care for animals used in research, support scientists, and intentionally create and open doors for young biomedical professionals, including those who look like me. Thank you for listening and for your time.